To another caller. Trevor is in Brighton. Trevor, you're on the radio. Your question to Mel Stride. Go ahead.
Yes, Mel. How can anyone trust you after being named the misleader of the House and your involvement in the loan charge scandal, which has resulted in multiple suicides?
Well, it is a very grave situation, Trevor. I recognise a figure, I think, of 10, and that is 10 too many, as I'm sure Mr. Stride will agree. Again, Mr. Stride, can you explain the controversy over the loan charge and why you've sought to continue with the policy?
Yeah, well, Trevor, good morning. Look, people have called me all sorts of things, actually, and generally I just let it wash over me. I'm afraid that's politics. But let's just, people may be confused as to what the loan charge is. There's something in this country called tax avoidance, and that is where you make arrangements for the primary purpose of avoiding paying the same amount of tax that everybody else is paying. One such structure involves, instead of Nick employing me and paying national insurance as an employer and me paying national insurance as an employee and I pay my income tax, what Nick actually says to me is, I'll tell you what, Mel, I'll give you a loan. I won't pay you. And we'll put this loan out in an overseas jurisdiction, a low or no tax jurisdiction, the Cayman Islands, say. The loan will come back to me as a loan, which of course Nick and I know I'm never going to actually repay. And because it's done that way and structured that way, I'm not having to pay any national insurance, and nor is Nick. Now, that is not right. There are very many variations on the scheme, but that's the broad heart of the way that this avoidance works. And what the loan charge is, which was actually brought in by my predecessors, but I was indeed the Treasury Minister for 2 years responsible for tax, what the loan charge does is catches up with that and basically says, look, you really should be paying the right amount of tax.
Wasn't it the retroactivity of it, that, if there is such a word, the retroactive nature of it, that caused the problem?
In the scheme that I've just outlined, of course, the loan still persists in these cases, the vast majority of them, irrespective of when the actual arrangements came into effect. So, I think most people, when they have it explained to them as to what is actually going on here, I think 99.6% of people don't go anywhere near these schemes. I think most people feel that it's reasonable that people pay the right amount of tax.
But sadly, people have taken their lives, it is reported as a result. So there was obviously something that didn't work with this. Is it not, again, the retroactive nature of it?
Well, Nick, I think there's a really important, if I may say, I think there's a really important point here. The Samaritans and others make it very clear that one shouldn't ascribe causation necessarily to suicide. Suicide is a very, very sensitive matter. And I think the extent, and I don't direct this at this particular campaign, I direct it as a more general point, because you even see it in the House of Commons where people stand up and say so-and-so has done something and that's led to a terrible outcome. I just don't think that's the responsible thing to do.
We have a last minute or so.